Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope you're having a great and wonderful day. We have a lot of news today, a whole bunch, just a slew of stuff, of information, news, gun banning, Trump derangement syndrome, and a bunch of Trump cheering. There's just so much stuff today. So you're probably going to be seeing a lot of videos today. I'm starting very, very early, thanks to my great rest. Thank you. And so, therefore, we're going to have a lot of videos today. And we're going to start cracking down on one of the things that makes me horrendously angry, and honestly, it makes me angry for not just, because of black students, because we're being told that we're not able to function in society, so therefore, we need all these other restrictions. We need to be handing out the stuff to feed you, and I'm going to go over a few things here as, maybe disciplining your children is not really a good thing, and, schools kind of have a way of disciplining children. Well, what we have here is this. It's about fairness. Portland Public Schools considers grading changes to reduce biases in classrooms. The district is considering making changes focused on measuring students' content knowledge, rather than behaviors like missing assignments or turning in late work. Well, here's the one thing I'm going to have to do about turning in late work, or, or missing assignments and stuff like that, or being late, in the real world, where, society actually functions, if you're late to work, you kind of end up getting fired. There's kind of the consequence of, not making that man money and, spending all kind of this money on the line, and then you're not actually doing work to make the business, function. It's kind of like, if you don't do this, you get fired to get replaced by somebody that actually will do this. And, oh, by the way, this is a long-term plan, I would assume, from the Democrats as well, or even the communists, that, if you want to take down a country that is great and powerful, go after their kids. Go after their education, and there you have it. This will cause a big issue in the country. It just takes years to develop. Well, this is what's going to happen, because then you're going to have the next generation of kids not knowing what to do, need to actually do actual proper work, and when they get into the actual work and they're not disciplined and not being well treated and they don't know the actual material at hand, they're going to make the company fall or dismay. And I think this is a long-term plan of, what the actual communists want to do later down the road. Well, this is the reason why we're talking about this, among many other things. Well, here's a video, and I'm going to go through clips here of what they're doing, and not only that, just the article in itself. Take a look.
Is looking into making some controversial changes to their grading system. It's a 5-year process and would involve moving to a different grading system that the district says would promote fairness in the classroom. It is a divisive issue. Tonight, Fox 12's Paulina Aguilar explains what supporters of the idea are saying.
PPS wants to move to an equitable grading system where students won't be penalized for things like turning in their homework late. Instead, schools would go above and beyond to understand the student's background so that they can demonstrate what they know in the classroom. PPS is looking to change their grading system.
It's making sure that students have an opportunity to demonstrate what they know and what they're able to do, not based on their behavior towards work completion.
Whoa, ho, 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 ho! Wait, right there, this stupid black lady. You're going to say that it's to their behaviors, is that it's going to lead to their actual knowledge, is that going to lead to their actual success? Well, you're an idiot, because obviously you have to have good behavior and a good work mindset in order to function and do good at your work. I don't wake up almost every single day not wanting to do my work and just decide not to do it. I mean, granted, I have done this sometimes with you guys before, but for generous reasons, most people have to get up and go to work and have a good behavior about it, and you need to have an actual understanding. Without good behavior, and you're going to go out and not ignore all the things that you do and think you're going to be missing work, is not going to be an issue for you. That's asinine that you think that not being responsible for doing your work, etc., is content to the knowledge. This is the reason why a lot of these people are trying to bring down a lot of black kids, and it's going to get more worse and more racist throughout the video that you go, because, well, apparently black kids are not able to function in today's society. We need to be caring to black people because we're too stupid, and we need handouts, and we need to have all these, behavior things taken away, so that way we can actually function in class for some apparent reason, because, the white man is just better.
Currently under a traditional grading system, but want to move to what they call an equitable grading system, where teachers assess students' work while considering their diverse background needs.
Maybe there's some linguistic inaccuracies. Maybe there are some home life hardships that make it difficult to complete assignments on time, or even maybe there's some errors.
Well, now, I will admit that maybe completing assignments on time might be an issue. However, let me point this out. If the assignments are unreasonable in the time frame, obviously, if you have an assignment that's extremely hard or long and you need to have it done within a day or two, maybe that not might be the greatest thing to have. Maybe give it a little bit more time so they can actually prepare and do it. However, if you're going to say that, that's the problem in the home or whatever, is compared to the assignments or whatever, that's up to the parents to actually be a parent and, coach their kids to complete the assignments. Listen, we have to teach kids actual discipline. This is just the reality of things, and I don't think you being a good parent, or not you being a bad parent, is going to fix this issue. I mean, all right, come on, you have to be a good parent. I see a lot of parents today, and especially even when I was in a Discord that has to do with the Great Old Ark Adventures, that they allow their very young kids to have a phone at a young age and on the internet at a young age. Well, lo and behold, that, maybe the internet is not the greatest space for kids because, there's, predators out there and, a lot of other bad things that need to be monitored in order for your kids to be, allowed onto the internet. But of course, a lot of parents don't want to have anything to do with their kid. They just want their kid to do whatever, and sometimes parents, probably this person, is also probably making their kid as an accessory to their life to make them look like they're doing something good. And, of course, many other things that is also quite questionable. I don't think that our parents today are doing a very good job in general. However, this does not mean that the school should bend over its knee and not discipline the children and restrict the actual disciplining from the kids when they're failing. You need to be able to teach kids the right way to do things, and this is just not the way.
PPS says the idea came from teachers working in the pandemic. They had to adjust their grading to accommodate online curriculum.
It really then moved the conversation on how individual teachers were grading and the importance of being consistent across Portland.
PPS says in the past, teachers have given zeros if schoolwork was late or inaccurate. The new system would change that.
We want those students to have the opportunity to complete those assignments.
Rochelle is a mom of a kindergartner and a fifth grader and says getting rid of zeros is a good thing.
When you put it
Has everybody known the actual phrase, if you, or not really the phrase, but, your mistakes lead you to become a better and more intelligent person? People learn from mistakes. It's the way life works. When you go through life, everything is a bundle of mistakes. You're going to be making it throughout your day, throughout your career, throughout your life. It's just going to happen. But of course, you learn from those mistakes. Sometimes those mistakes could be severe. Sometimes those mistakes cannot be so severe. But they are mistakes, and they do happen. And no, I'm not talking about the mistake of, going outside and then popping a cap in somebody's head, and then they die, and then you call that a mistake. No, that's just you being a degenerate piece of garbage human being. That's a mistake. That's not a mistake. That's you just being an evil person. A mistake is, maybe you go and drop a hamburger on the ground and you ruin your food and you mess up your money. That's a mistake. Or maybe you overtrip your dog and then your dog has to have surgery or something and because of that. That's a mistake. And that could be a more severe mistake than, actively going and doing things. What they're trying to do here is to not make the kids learn from their mistakes, not propel them into any more greatness than they are. They're trying to bring them down and try to bring them down to other people's level for some god apparent reason, because for whatever reason, this is the possibility. And of course, we're going to show you the crazy lady here, the one with the great old glasses. No, not the glasses I have that are stylish. The other one that is insane. She thinks that, as she said, putting zeros on a piece of paper,
What it's
it's not
doing
good.
is it's
zero on a kid,
like you're putting a value judgment on them, right? Like they are feeling the impact of that 0.
Rochelle says the new grading system can help mitigate barriers.
I feel like it's really important that we meet kids where they're at, and they're not all at the same place. Kids have different challenges, they have different circumstances at home, they have different learning styles and abilities.
This is the problem that I have with women in general, and I'm sorry for the actual blaring sun out there. I will fix that actually in the next video. But other than that, this is the reason why I have wrong with women. And don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. That's not the problem here. The issue here is that a lot of these ladies, a lot of these women, when they get into this power or whatever, they have to go everything by feelings, and feelings does not always solve your problems. So let me tell you, it's kind of a detriment. Now, obviously, we want the feelings involved when it comes down to kids and stuff, because, you know, we need the mother to have your feelings. Men are usually more stoic, kind of conceal their feelings a bit. It's understandable for that matter of fact. We don't want a man having all these raging emotions and then release those raging emotions onto the public. It usually leads up to bad things. But what ends up happening is that we have these ladies over here. This 100% IQ woman here is saying that, oh, well, feelings is a problem, so if we put zeros on their paper, it'll make the kids feel bad. Of course, it feels bad because you did a mistake or what have you. And yes, every kid does have a different starting point. And I would say that I'm one of those kids. I did not learn or read at the same level as other kids. Until, you know, I went through an actual schooling and, you know, I ended up learning be able to read at a college level, apparently, because, you know, the schooling actually helped. But, again, the fact of the matter is that you need to have failure in order to succeed. It's just the way of things are. And you learn from your mistakes, and the good teacher will point out your mistake, teach you the correct way, and you learn your mistake and you get smarter. What they're trying to do is, we're not going to put a zero on your paper, and we're going to ignore that fact, then we're not going to teach you anything, and therefore you're going to be able to function better in society. No, that's not how that's going to work. And again, this whole feeling thing is really getting on my nerves. We cannot be catering to cater to people's actual feelings so much. It's ridiculous. This is where society has gone wrong for so long. Is because we cater to feelings way too much. And the fact of the matter is, it kind of just needs to stop. And that's the reason why when you have kids starting at a different point, some kids maybe a little more advanced, some kids maybe a little more lower, I would suggest this. Instead of maybe putting kids in a lower bracket, maybe just put the kids in a other bracket to where they could have a best way to learn or teach them the correct way. You know, maybe something like that. Don't put them in an actual classroom where, you know, where it's a bunch of actual people that are, you know, not mentally well, and hamper their actual schooling. There's always going to be people and kids that are going to be smarter than others, right? That's just the way it is. And they're trying to implement this equity BS that is part of the thing that they want to do here. This is all about equity. So because there are kids better than you are, we're going to make it equal equity, so that for everybody's on the same footing hold, therefore bringing down the intelligence and the other kids because they have to meet the other kids' standards. That's just absolutely ridiculous. Always make a school or a classroom that has a higher tier schooling and then, you know, just a basic level schooling, and then have the teachers work overtime to make sure that the other kids that are not getting it, they can actually get it. That, you know, this is actual proper teaching. This is what you do with proper schools. But of course, with these idiots, that's what they don't want to do that.
Yes says they've already put it to the test in classrooms last year.
Some of the things that we heard was student motivation was higher, students leaning in and engaging, not like opting out or closing down. It's assessing the learning, not the effort. And that's what I want families to be able to take away from this.
If the equitable grading system does get approved, it will be implemented in schools in 2025. Reporting in Northeast Portland, Paulina Aguilar, Fox 12 Oregon.
Not putting forth effort. Right, as I said before in this video, not putting forth effort kind of just leads to, you know, you getting fired at the job. You have to put forth effort, and more effort actually gets you rewarded. Putting less effort gets you fired, gets you not be able to earn more money. It lets you, it really puts a detriment onto kids. And I want to understand why this is. Now we're going to go through this article a bit. Sorry this video is a bit long, but of course this really concerns me because it has a lot to do with this. So what we're having here is that the Portland Public Schools is considering adopting new equitable grading practices which would change how teachers grade students. A handout from the school district said historical data shows racial disparities in students in pass or fail rate. Which, obviously we're going to go, this is going to be pertaining to the blacks here, let's be honest. The handout is also instructs teachers to not assign 0 assignments to that are assignments that are handed in late or are missing. It also states that the students for students caught cheating, they are to face disciplinary action instead of having their grade to be penalized. District administrators said these changes and others would make classrooms more fair and reduce biases. So again, we're going off of this, feeling type stuff and biases. We can make sure that all the black kids and even all the white kids have the proper schooling and the proper education to actually succeed. You are constantly, guys, always failing on what you're doing here. It's quite obvious this is the case here. We have this as well. Changing tardiness policies could reduce racial disparities in school discipline. We have this here that says black and Hispanic students are disciplined more often than white students, so it stands to reason. Community leaders say that rethinking tardiness policies would reduce the discipline statistics and the disparity. And as I said before, this is a huge problem, because if you put this case in the perspective here, if you're late to work, you're going to get fired. Again, I repeat this over and over in this video because it's so prominent on what they think. They're going to raise these kids and put these kids into the real world, and they're not going to care about what they're doing. They're going to just be late, and then they're going to get fired, and they're going to be more poor, more out of the streets, maybe end up doing drugs because of your bad schooling. This is just a thing. This was also from 2014, but I digress. And then, of course, let's have a little bit of taste of what's been going here. Why we need to discipline your kids. In fact, failure to discipline children often results in kids who are unhappy, angry, and even resentful. To those around them, a child who is not disciplined will be unpleasant company, and a child without discipline may find it difficult to make friends. Exactly. So, again, we're going from this actual mini article here, which is not too hard to understand. Obviously, if you don't discipline children, if you don't teach them the right way, there's going to be negative side effects to this. And hopefully they don't implement this. But there's a good chance, because it's a very woke school, a very woke community, they're most likely going to implement this and ruin their kids' lives forever, including the black students, especially the black students. So I don't see where this is going to go well at all. And the fact of the matter is, and I don't like doing this whole racial thing because I think it's stupid, but it is what the Democrats think of black people. The Democrats actually think that black people are not able to rise from the occasion, be able to educate themselves, and be able to get better in their grade schooling. You guys have constantly been haunting and demonizing the black people for fucking decades now. Let's talk about the Democrats, where you're not allowing them to proceed, you're not allowing them school choice, you're not allowing them to make decisions of their own, and you're putting them down every single time. The way black people are voting for Democrats is absolutely just excruciating to me, because they keep bringing us down every step of the way, and we need to change these things in order to project ourselves better into society. Again, we're being deemed as stupid and dumb, and I think that needs to stop here and now. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care.